Hi, Richard.
Hiya. Okay.
Yeah. Are you? Now you're
Yeah.
there? All settled
Yeah.
in?
I'm struggling a little bit getting through to Zoom, and the sound quality is not that good. I
The
think
internet not that
this
good
is
out
it.
there?
So you're really breaking up. I didn't hear
I said, isn't the internet very good out there?
what the internet.
Yeah.
It's a bit patchy. Um, right, so I think I'm through to. We'll go back to Zoom. Uh, we're back to Zoom in a second. Yeah, I'm relying on hotel at the minute, and the internet is streaming it to YouTube. It seems to be a bit too much.
Yeah.
I'm getting a message
The,
saying internet connection is unstable, so I expect anything at any minute.
right.
So I'll crack on. I'll do as much as I can, um, and I will try and. I'm not ready for that just yet. Um, So I'm going to share my screen. Apparently, you can see my four charts, and I've got, so I'm going to move you guys out of the way. Not going to be the best of live sessions because I'm all over the world at the minute, and the internet is not that stable.
I can see the
Um,
charts.
you see the charts, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to
Yeah.
move. Okay, and so I've got my vertical white line and I've got my vertical green line, which means good to go. I've just opened a brand new demo account with HTML, so I'm hoping this is all going to work okay. We've got news. I've got my news set on moderate 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after. The news is actually red flag news on the US dollar to do with the unemployment figures. So I'm expecting some movement just before, just after that. Gary, I got your message about the couple of queries. I'm going to need to pass those on to Oliver because I've noticed something similar, and
Right. Okay.
I'll pass them on to
I was
Oliver.
just curious, that's all. Just if it's like, I think we've had this before, haven't we, where it's been like one or two,
Yeah,
uh, and, it, and then it's
I'll,
turned the other way, you see. And even I don't know whether it carried on going up there this morning, but at the end of the day with it, I mean, I took two. It hadn't took any all week, and it took four yesterday afternoon. Two won and two
yeah,
lost, but so you were still up. So that they looked okay,
yeah,
but I'm still thinking we could probably get in a little bit earlier. I don't know.
yeah. So I'll pass those on to Oliver because I noticed something one day last week. I can't remember what day it was. So I did sort of wonder why it didn't get me a bit earlier. So that may be something you can fix,
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
something that it can give us. We may be able to get an option to get in a little bit earlier, I guess. Um, because of where I am, I'm going to try and meet up with Oliver and have a chat with him. So
Yeah.
we
I'm trying to think. I try and
maybe,
relate it to the manual way of doing it when you were looking for the next full candle over like a trend line.
yeah, that's really what I want to raise with Oliver and see why it's not. If you compare like with like, it's it's allowed, I'm guessing, but it may be something quite easy for him to fix. So I haven't been on my computer at all in the last few days. So I just need to go what I would do before I started trading. First thing is I'm checking that I'm on the right chart. So I'm on the 3-minute chart. I seem to be, for some reason, on the 2-minute on that one, 3-minute on that one, and 3-minute on that one. So I'm going to change this to the consistency. I need to go to time frames, go to minutes. I have checked off 3 minutes, 2 minutes there, that should be 3 minutes. So now I'm on 3 minutes. The other thing that I always do is I've got the green indicator here saying algo trading, but I always double check by going to view and going to navigator. I look for the 4 blue hats there. So I've got the 4 pairs connected correctly, and I can come out with that. And then the other thing I do, I check my indicator panel, but I can see that I've got more than one water atta on that one. I've got 2 on that one. I've got 3 on that one. I've got 3 on most of them actually. So at some point I need to just right click the indicator. So main I've got 3 MAs. I'm happy with 3 because sometimes at some point I may wish to incorporate a 3rd moving average, but I don't need 2 smooths and I don't need 2 water attas. So that's okay. And I just go through these whilst I'm waiting to trade, just to stop any duplications. So that's okay. I need to get rid of that. I need to get rid of that. And I'll just do the same with all of them. And obviously, the reason I'm waiting is that we're waiting for this 1 o'clock 15-minute candle to close. And when that happens, the trading assistant will take the highest point in that 15-minute period. It'll look left and it'll look for the nearest higher point, and it'll look left and look for the nearest lower point. So at the moment, that's the nearest lower point, and at the moment, that's the nearest higher point. But we can't do anything until that 15 minutes is complete. So indicator lists, right? So we've got a few duplicates here. And I think if I take that one off, didn't work. And that one off. Yeah, okay, but we've actually got a blue line, so let me go back and change that. I like my line to be white, and I like it to be quite thick. Again, this is something that Oliver's intending to put right. So I've now got white line there, white line there, white there, and this one's obviously got duplicates. Indicator list. 2 3MAs. I don't need that one. I'll try starting from the bottom this time. Okay, so that's worked. I've now only got 1 water atta indicator on each chart. I've got the wrong blue line here, so I'm going to go back and double click on the colors. Make that white, make it thicker. Okay, so for some reason that hasn't worked. Let me just do that again. We've got a couple of minutes left. Well, 3 minutes left. Indicator list. Smooth, 3MAs. Get rid of the smooth. change the code on this one. Right. And it's already click. Okay, I've got all four charts looking the same, and I'm just waiting for. I'll just go to Euro US. That's not what I intended to do. That's lack of practice. Bear with me. Charts. Well, this is all good fun. That's how we duplicate the appearance. So I'll go on to timeframes. I want to be on a 3-minute time frame. Well, before I do that, I'll go to templates. There's no templates. There's no templates. I want my Crossfire. Let's try that one. I've got my time frames and got the 3-minute time frame, and I want to okay, so let me just put these four charts together. Okay, so this one is it all gone out. No, actually, it's appeared down here now. So what I need to do is go to View, Navigator, make this the main chart, and then I'm going to drag Crossfire onto there. Check. I always check that this is ticked, and I'm going onto a new chart. I need my set list. This isn't the correct one, so I'll go to the bottom and click on Load. And I've simplified this. I just want the PM set. And we'll click on OK, and that should appear all good. So we'll go View, get rid of Navigator. I keep getting messages saying that or internet connection is not brilliant. Okay, so I've now got at the high point during that 15 minutes. That was the 115 candle, so that was the high point before. It was that one, and it's looked left and it's found the nearest higher candle, and then it's looked at the bottom of, there must be a wick down there, and it's looked for the nearest lower one. That doesn't seem 100% right, but it's more or less right. And I go to 404. They're all looking good. So we've looked left from there, we found the nearest high. We've looked left from there, we found the nearest low. I think if you look on the 15-minute chart, this would probably be accurate. Just it seems to distort it visually when you drop down to 3 minutes. So looking at all four charts, they all look good. I'm a little bit confused by that. There seems to be two lots of letter underneath there, but that should clear itself. So we're in the on GBP USD up here at the minute. We're in the trade zone. When this candle closes, if it closes above the green trend line, this will change to looking for a buy signal because it's above the green trend line. The water atta is starting to look okay. Let's wait for, it's currently saying no trade. If you look at my cursor there, it's saying no trade. it must be programmed to wait for more than one candle. Or maybe it's just waiting for this candle to close. I'm not sure. So we're waiting on a bit of action on that one. Same on that one, although the water atta isn't ready yet. The histogram is below the explosion line, so that's not a good situation to be in. This one, we're above the green trend line, and the water atta is starting to look okay. So we're looking at a new candle now. Maybe it's just my internet connection, but I would have expected that because that candle closed above the green trend line, I would expect it to say looking for, there we go, looking for a buy signal. Looking for a buy signal, looking for a buy signal. Okay. All four are looking for buy signals because all four are currently above the green trend line. So let's have a look at one closer. So the first thing the trading assistant looks for is either above, price to be either above the green trend line or below the red trend line. So we're above the green. So it then starts to look for the second criteria. Has there been a recent wave change? Well, yes, there was. There was a wave change back there, change from red to green. However, we don't have number 3 criteria, which is a recent MA crossover. We do have a reasonable with the water atta. Now let's have a look what it says. Saying for some reason it's saying no trade. And this is the point that you were making, Gary. Sometimes it looks as if it could have got to in a little bit earlier. I wouldn't want to be in on this one because price is coming backwards. And so at the moment, I'm trying to stick with my 4 criteria. I'm trying to stick with the MA crossover as being one of the 4. I did go through a period when I was overriding the lack of an MA crossover. I seem to be getting better results. Started to be a bit more patient and waiting for an MA crossover. I haven't had as many trades. Well, last week I didn't have as many trades, but I did have more successful trades, so I'm going to stick with that. So this 13 moving average has been 200 for some time now. So if you want to stick with the moving average criteria, you have to wait for it to cross over the 200, and I'm finding more success with that at the minute. So I'm going to go back to another pair, see what's happening on this one. Okay, so I'm above the green trend line. We are still able to trade, or the trading assistant is able to trade because we're not yet into the 5 minutes before the news. We're at 20, well, I'm on 2021, that'll be on 13:21 in the UK and 8:21 in New York. So we could still potentially get in for a buy if everything falls into place. Price is above the green trend line. We've had yes, there was a red wave there, so this will count as a recent wave change. But there isn't, in my eyes, that crossover, that MA crossover is too far in the past. The water atta is looking good. It's still saying no trade. As I say, I'm going to try and stick this week to needing all 4 of the criteria. That MA wasn't recent for me, for my liking. I would like to see the water atta saying long. It's still saying no trade. Showing a bit of a delay there, I think. And we'll look at the other one.
In relation to the MA crossover, and the wave change. Can you go later? Can you go through the settings, what it's supposed to be on the EA, Richard, please?
Yeah, I'll go through my settings. Yeah, I'm just going to look at my fourth pair. So that's now gone above the green trend line. So that's all the trading assistant looks for. Is it above the green trend line? And right now, its response will be yes, it is. If I was trading manually, I'd be a bit nervous because the long wicks coming up and down on those two candles. But my trading assistant is programmed to just use the criteria, is it above the green trend line? So we'll look for the second one, which has there been a recent wave change? Well, there has, but not sure I would count that as recent enough. And I don't seem to have my MAs on this now, do I? That might be why. The water actually was looking good, but once it reached the 15-minute candle, it then changed direction. Well, I just need to look at these settings. Don't look to be correct. Basically, I don't have any moving averages, so let me just. So before I check the Euro US, I'm going to check one of the ones that is correct. So we've got the two moving averages there, two moving averages there, and two moving averages there. So that was the one that out of sync. I'm going to check this now first. Expert this. Options. This is the correct one. I believe my PM Crossfire 24680. That looks to be the correct one. I'm going for 5 pip stop loss, 10 pip take profit. I want 2 pip spread protection. I'm looking at 2 pip. Sorry, yeah, I'm looking at 2% overall stop loss throughout the 4 pairs. So these 4 pairs are all lumped into one basket, and I go for 6% profit. I'm actually going for 4%, but I give it a little bit of leeway. Partial close, I don't take any note. So new settings, currently on moderate, 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after. 900 is the minutes look back for the high or low. 180, so I want it to look for trades for 3 hours. That's all okay, that's all okay. So HMA crossover. So for some reason, I've got true false true. I'm asking it to look back for 15 candles for the MA crossover.
What about the HA settings,
13
Richard?
and
Are they
200.
what you've got? You know the signal look back bars for the HA settings. What you got that set at?
HA,
It's further up, I think. You've got that set at. Is it 4?
I've got high Kanashi settings set on 13.
Do the signal look back bars initiate? What do they mean? 4?
Single look back. Right, let me just go through these. A little bit rusty. High Kanashi settings, the smoothing period, I'm looking back 13. I think this has gone back to straight out the box. It's saying signal look back bars
All
for
right. Okay.
the display 10. Do you want me to change those and see if it makes any difference? Do you want me to?
I just wondered what they were. That's all. If they were affecting anything about getting in and out. If they don't affect anything, then it doesn't matter. But I was just curious what they were. That's all.
I came to the conclusion that when I had them on 2020, it wasn't making any difference but I can, I'll go back to Oliver and double check those. I'll leave them on 4 and 10 because that's what came out of the box. But I will
Yeah.
query that with Oliver. I personally didn't find it made any difference, or didn't seem to make any difference. So MA crossover, I've got true, false, true. And I'm on 13 and 200. And that's all correct. I haven't changed anything down there. So they are the correct settings. But what I
Okay.
need to do is go to Euro US and see what's different about that. It's not showing an MA crossover. So 5 and 10, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's all the same. That's all the same. Partial close, ignore, news 5, 5. And they crossover, true, false, true. So that's, why isn't that showing? 13 and 200, yeah. And I want it to show moving average. True, false, true. Okay, so let's just try loading that, see what happens. Yeah, good, good, good. What that means, there we go. What that means is that the chart or the training assistant itself is recognizing the moving averages, but it's not visible on the charts. It's still working, just not visible on the chart. So that was the point I was making last week. That the fact that there's something on your charts doesn't mean that the training assistant is going to take any notice of it. So, but what I do need is, so I'll go back to indicator list, and right, so I don't need show pips. I don't know where this has come from, but I don't need it to show pips because it's all in pips. Internet connection is unstable. I can delete that. Just check on the averages there. Yeah, I'm on 13. And the water after, just need to change the colors. Make it thick. Right. So how do I get my moving averages back on the chart? Let me just work that out. Right, so the chart's actually saying no trading because of no trading because of news, and on this pair, no trading because the spread's too high. News on spread, the spread's okay on that. I just need to work out how to get my indicator panel sorted. Let me just try it. Just try loading it again. There we go. So I'll take that off there, remove it, and then re-add it. That's the news, by the way, that's just pushed the price all the way up. So I'm allowing algo trading, got my inputs, which I need to load up correctly.
Hi, Richard. So I've just realised you're on and I've got to shoot out. So I hope you're having a nice time in Hotland.
Yeah.
It's freezing here.
Yes.
Catch up later.
Okay, okay. Cheers now. Where are we now? So we've got the let's try changing that to true and see if that makes any difference. But true, 13. So that should be okay. Yeah, I've now got the 13 and the 200 moving averages for some reason. Okay, so let's go back and look at the charts. So the news was on the US dollar. So we'll look at those two pairs first. So there was a massive increase in price exactly on the news at 130. I can't trade until that, but when I do get back into trading mode, I'm above the green trend line. The recent wave change was some time ago. I think that'll probably fall outside my scope, but the main thing is the moving average just hasn't occurred. So my trading assistant won't take any trades on that pair. It's going to wait for a moving average crossover. That's GBP USD. I'll look at the other euro pair, sorry, other USD pair. So it's since decided to come back down. I'm not able to trade because of news. It's 4 minutes after the news. When it does, when we're 5 minutes after the news, I've had a recent wave change there, but I haven't had an MA crossover. So my trading assistant will just stop looking at that point. It'll stop saying, it won't even look for the, if you want to have an MA crossover, you can do so by just putting a buy click, and that, if you did that now, it would also override the new setting, but I wouldn't do that just yet, because we're too close, we're too soon after the news. 2035, so that restriction will finish after this candle closes. So that was a 3-minute candle. This is a 3-minute candle, so we're pretty close to being able to trade on this one. So let's just stick with this and see what happens. So what actually is looking promising, it's the explosion line is moving away from the dead zone. The histogram is above the explosion line, and it's now changed to long. So we've come outside of the no trading zone. We're back into the buy, looking for a buy signal. We're above the green trend line, but we haven't had a moving average crossover. So let's just, I'm going to mark this and say, right, okay, that there was a potential entry point if I hadn't used my MA crossover. Let's just see what would have happened. Actually, put that on. So I'm still on that candle there. The thing I'm trying to show here is the fact that we haven't had the MA crossover makes it less likely that price is going to continue moving upwards. It doesn't mean it can't move upwards, just makes it less likely. It may be that it's gone as high as it wants to go, and we now need to come back to the 200 moving average. So I'll just leave that on there for a minute. That horizontal white line, the price has actually been below that. But we just need to see what's it. Is it going to continue up, or is it going to decide to come back down? What happened is it went up, leaving quite a bit of imbalance on that 130 candle, and it may want to come back and take that imbalance out, or not. So it's undecided, isn't it? There's looks above and long looks below. Don't know if you can still hear or see me, but keep getting the message with unstable.
Yeah, we're still all right.
Okay, we'll stick with it for now. We'll look at a different pair. Obviously, the trading assistant is not programmed to take notice of these long wicks, but me, having traded Crossfire for quite a while, that makes me nervous. The up and down wicks, where it just means this indecision. It means there's a battle going on. The buyers and the sellers are win the battle.
You know, if it's going to make a decision now on the HA wave, will it only look back the 13 candles that's been set?
What did we say was the look back? Did we say 13 look back candles?
Yeah. So it's looking back 13 candles then. So if they're all green, it'll have to wait for another change, won't it? Is that right? To get into anything?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it won't get in now because the wave change is too far back, and it's more than 13 candles, so it won't get in for that. And what I was trying to prove and hoping it would do it whilst I was looking is, it's been up there, it's now coming down. Had we got in for a buy, we'd have lost that one. So it pays to be patient. And if you're able to sit and look at the chart, if you witness those long wicks up and long wicks down, they make me nervous. I don't like that. It looks as if the sellers are winning this particular battle now. But this imbalance has got to be filled in, not necessarily today, but quite often it is. And so it was pushed up by the news, and they've got to go back and take some of that money back. But we'll keep an eye on it. So that's Euro US. We'll look at the Canadian dollar pair. There was no news on the Canadian dollar, so we're looking for a buy trade because we're above the green trend line. We have had there was a red wave, so that probably counts within the 13 or whatever look back candles. But we haven't. Well, the MA crossover was way too far back, and the Water Atta has changed direction. So that's why I'm looking at, well, I'm still sticking with the MA crossover requirement, because the fact that crossover was in the distant past means it's more likely that prices, instead of going upwards, which the trend there was upward, instead of continuing upwards, it's more likely, in my mind, that it's going to come back and have a crossover in the opposite direction. So you can see the volumes disappearing, and the explosion line is, well, it's actually pointing downwards. Well, there's no trade to be had on that pair. and we need to look at this pair. Yeah, very similar, although prices come back and just wick down to the 200 moving average. That's quite normal. It'll either bounce or break. At the minute it's bouncing. If it continues to go down, we then need it to get below the red trend line, and we need this 13 moving average to cross over the 200. Then we've got a good chance of getting in for a more positive sell. I'm just looking at recent price action. So it came down, it pushed down quite rapidly there, went back up, went into a sideways movement, went back up, came back down. It's highly likely that this price is going to come back below. We're going to have an MA crossover on this pair, I think, later this afternoon. Now there's some more news on the Canadian dollar, and that's at 3 o'clock UK time. What may well happen is that the big boys sit on the hands until that news, and then use that news to disguise any price manipulation. So I'm not going to tempt for it and start too long. I'm going to look at all four pairs and just say what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing. So GBP USD, I'm going to wait until below, it needs to come back below the red trend line. I would also wait until it got below the green trend line, because it can bounce off the green trend line. I would like to see the yellow moving average cross over the white moving average, and then I'd be more comfortable in getting in for a buy, so getting in for a sell. It looks as if price has gone as high as it's. Let's just have a look back. Right, so there was a high point earlier today, and it made it past that, but not, and that was because of the news, and then it's come back down kind of that level now. Put a line on very roughly, need to bring it down a bit. It was that sort of level, and that's a kind of level it's at the moment. So there's some resistance at that point. That's very recent. If you look even further back, okay, so we've got some higher, or is it higher? Let's have a look. No, so that is quite a high point, and what's that, 127? Yeah, price generally has been below. It got up to about 129 a couple of weeks ago, and it's been struggling to get back up to that. So I think it's probably not going to go any higher today. I think what is going to happen is we're going to get this news at 3, and it may well be that the 13 crosses over the 200, and we start looking for a sell. Who am I to know? Nobody knows what's going to happen. It just you get these gut feelings when you see those equal highs, and you think well, my thought process just says just be patient and wait. So that's GBP USD. I'll do the other. I'll do the other US dollar pair. This is all internet stuff. It's not responding to my. So there was a pre-profit but now it looks like it might be wanting to come back down. The 13 is still rising quite steeply, moving away, and the 200 is moving upwards. So I wouldn't like to focus when they do, but it could get below the red. If it gets below the red, it's not too far to get to the green, and then we're looking at a sell situation. But the 13 moving average has got quite a distance to get down to there, so I'm not going to get excited about that. What's going on? So we'll look at the Canadian dollars. Yeah, you see, this is the sort of thing I'm expecting to happen on the other pair. It's been up there. It's had its time up there, but the sellers are coming back down. It's already been below the red and the green. Having the pullback now. The moving average happened there. So in my way of thinking, the chances of continue to go up are getting less and less because it's further away from that crossover. I think it's probably going to come back down, and they may use that news as an excuse to manipulate it. All I can say is it's times like this when you've just got to be patient. Just wait for it to make the move that you're expecting. Yeah, being down, it's touched the red trend line. Can you see how it's like the bounce or break? It's bounced once, twice, 3 times now. There's some strategies that talk about the 4th time or the 5th time it will definitely go through, but you can see that there's definitely a resistance there. Prices come down and then it's rejected. It came down, then it rejected, it came down, then it rejected. If you follow that line down there, you'll see there's another couple of occasions when it's trying to get past that trend line. So just wait. The 13 moving average is quite close to the 2. I think that'll be the time when we get some price action. So I'm not going to test my luck any further. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to try and improve my connection before next Tuesday. So have a good weekend, and I'll get onto Oliver about those queries that we have, Gary.
Okay.
And either he or I will get back to you when he looks at it. So I'm going to stop sharing. Thanks for jumping on, and I shall catch you on Tuesday.
Richard, thank you. Cheers.